There's one truth you need to remember above all else in this chaotic world we live in. Discipline may hurt you in the short term, like a sharp sting that makes you wince and question why you're pushing so hard. But regret will hurt you for a lifetime, gnawing at your soul every quiet night when you reflect on what could have been. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why are there things you know are absolutely crucial? Things you know deep down you should be tackling right this very moment, yet you keep letting them slip by, day after day, like sand through your fingers? It's not because you lack the knowledge you've read the books, watched the videos, and heard the advice 1,000 times. It's not because you lack opportunity, doors open all around us if we just pay attention. No, the real culprit is that you're losing the fight right on your own battlefield, the one inside your mind, where the battles against procrastination, fleeting emotions, and the seductive pull of comfort rage on without mercy. We always convince ourselves that we need to wait for just a little more motivation to kick in, a little more time to magically appear on our schedules, or a little more inspiration to strike like lightning from the sky before we finally take that decisive action. But let me tell you, that little more mentality is exactly what has stolen the lives of so many promising people, leaving them stranded in mediocrity while their dreams fade into oblivion. You look back after months or years and ask yourself in quiet desperation, why am I still stuck here in this same spot? Why haven't I gone further, achieved more, broken free from this cycle? Why do I keep repeating the same mistakes, the same routines that lead nowhere? The truth can be harsh, like a cold splash of water to the face, but it's necessary. You know you need to change. You feel it in your bones, but you still choose the easy path of comfort every single time. You know you can push further, reach higher, but you keep waiting for that elusive right feeling to arrive, as if it's some magical force that will carry you forward effortlessly. And waiting, my friend, is the most dangerous trap of all, a silent killer that disguises itself as patience, but robs you of your potential one postponed day at a time. I used to be a young man just like you might be now, full of grand dreams and elaborate plans swirling in my head, but missing that one crucial element that turns aspirations into reality, the courage to start, to take that first uncomfortable step without guarantees. At 25 years old, I had the privilege of meeting my mentor, Earl Schoaf, a man whose wisdom would reshape my entire existence. He looked me in the eye and said something I'll never forget, words that pierced through my excuses like a knife. Jim, life doesn't respond to your wishes or your hopeful thoughts. It responds to your attitude and your actions, the choices you make every single day. That was the pivotal moment when I realized that if I didn't force myself to act, to move despite the fear and doubt, no one else could possibly save my life from the rut I was digging deeper into. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 12 powerful principles that transformed everything for me, taking me from a poor, frustrated young man scraping by to becoming one of the most fortunate and influential motivators in the world, touching lives across generations. Make sure you stay until the very end, because principle number 7 is going to be that wake-up slap you desperately need before it's too late, the one that could shift your perspective forever. Let's dive right in with principle 1. Confront your comfort zone before it quietly destroys you, eroding your ambitions bit by bit until there's nothing left. Do you know what the most dangerous enemy of true success really is? It's not failure, which we can learn from and bounce back stronger. It's not a lack of talent, because talent alone doesn't guarantee anything without effort. It's not even a lack of opportunity, as those often appear when we least expect them. No, the true killer is comfort itself, that cozy blanket we wrap ourselves in thinking it's protecting us when it's actually suffocating our growth. The comfort zone is where you feel at ease, safe from the world's judgments and risks, but it's also the graveyard where your dreams slowly die, buried under layers of complacency and routine. I remember vividly when I was young, working as a salesman for Sears, barely making ends meet in a job that felt like a dead end. For the entire month, I just looked forward to the weekends, counting down the hours until I could escape the drudgery. Every Monday morning, I complained to myself or anyone who would listen, wishing I didn't have to drag myself to work, dreading the predictable cycle ahead. Back then, I was living what seemed like a safe, predictable life that led absolutely nowhere, a path of least resistance where no one criticized me harshly, there were no big risks to face, but there was also no real growth, no breakthroughs, no results worth celebrating. I had unknowingly accepted a golden cage, one that was comfortable on the surface but confining in every way that mattered, limiting my vision and potential without me even realizing it at first. And the scariest part about the comfort zone is that it doesn't destroy you in a dramatic overnight fashion. It erodes you little by little, like water wearing down a rock over time, until you're a shadow of what you could have been. You feel fine in the moment, content even, but deep down you're shrinking, your skills atrophying, your ambitions fading. You feel calm and relaxed, but in reality you're postponing your future, kicking the can down the road indefinitely. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but that tomorrow never arrives because it's always just out of reach, a mirage in the desert of procrastination. Imagine this for a second, a beam of light spreading out in all directions, diffuse and scattered, only bright enough to dimly light up a small room, providing no real impact. But when that same light is focused, concentrated into a single point, it becomes a powerful laser that can cut through steel, achieving what seemed impossible. Your energy, your potential, works exactly the same way if you let it scatter aimlessly in the realm of comfort. Chasing distractions and easy pleasures, you'll never create anything of greatness, never leave a mark. The comfort zone feels so good in the short term, offering immediate relief and familiarity, but it's incredibly costly. Trading away your future for a little temporary ease today, a bad deal that compounds over time. When I met Earl Schoaf, he posed a question that hit me like a ton of bricks. Jim, how long have you let fear control your life, dictating your choices and holding you back? I couldn't answer him right away because I knew he was spot on. I was afraid of failure, terrified of uncertainty, petrified of being laughed at or judged by others. But in that moment, I had forgotten a fundamental truth. Staying stuck in your comfort zone is also a form of failure, just a silent, insidious one that doesn't announce itself with fanfare but creeps in and takes root. You don't need to conquer the entire world overnight to make progress. You just need to conquer yourself today in small but meaningful ways that build momentum. Wake up 20 minutes earlier than usual, even if your body protests. Turn off the TV for an hour and use that time to learn something new, expanding your mind instead of numbing it. Finish that task you've been avoiding, the one that's been hanging over your head like a dark cloud. Head to the gym even when you don't feel like it, pushing through the inertia. Those small actions, those tiny victories are the beginning of a big, fulfilling life, the foundation upon which empires are built. And here's how you know you've truly stepped out of your comfort zone: when you feel uncomfortable, when your heart races with nervousness, when you feel utterly unready and exposed. That's precisely when you're growing, stretching beyond your current limits. It's painful at times, yes, but absolutely worth it in the long run. It's tiring, draining your energy, but worth every ounce of effort. It's hard, requiring grit and determination, but necessary for any real transformation. One day you'll look back and thank yourself for leaving that soft, inviting chair behind to step into the arena of challenge, embracing the discomfort as a teacher. You'll realize there's no pain greater than looking back at your life in old age and realizing you never lived up to your full potential, that you played it safe and missed out on the adventure. So, here's a question for you to ponder right now. What are you avoiding simply because it's uncomfortable, because it pushes you out of that familiar bubble? Is it a goal you're afraid you can't reach, one that seems too lofty or intimidating? A step forward you fear others will judge harshly, mocking your efforts? A change you know deep in your heart you need to make but keep delaying, making excuses to stay put? Be brutally honest with yourself in this moment. Face it head on today, without flinching. If you don't step out of your comfort zone voluntarily, life will eventually push you out, but it will do so through pain, crisis, or loss, forcing the change in a way that's far more brutal. If you truly want to break free from this cycle and build the life you deserve, the first thing you must learn is to stop negotiating with that weak, persuasive voice in your head that always advocates for the easy way out. So, let's move to principle 2. Stop negotiating with your excuses, those clever little lies we tell ourselves to justify inaction. There's an enemy that shadows you every single day, lurking in the corners of your mind, but it doesn't come roaring like a lion or crashing like a storm. It's not as overtly scary as outright failure, but it's far more dangerous because it's subtle and insidious. It's that weak voice in your head, the one that's incredibly convincing, always ready with a rational sounding argument to keep you from moving forward. You're tired right now. Take a break. You deserve it after a long day. Skulking this one time won't hurt anyone. It's not a big deal. You can always start tomorrow when you're fresher and more motivated. Don't push too hard. Take it easy. Life is short. But do you see what's happening here? That's the voice of a mediocre life, the one that settles for less and never reaches for more, a siren song leading you astray. It's like a skilled lawyer who defends your procrastination with flawless logic, making it seem reasonable, even wise. Every time you give into it, every time you nod along and say, okay, just this once, it scores a point against you and you lose a little bit of your inner strength, your resolve weakening with each concession. I used to be exactly like that, falling for it hook, line, and sinker. When I was a salesman, I'd set a goal to find 3 new clients in a day, full of enthusiasm in the morning. But by noon, when the rejections started piling up, I'd tell myself, I'm too tired today, the energy just isn't there. I'll double down tomorrow and make up for it. The result? Tomorrow became the day after, then a week slipped by, then a whole month, and I was no closer to my targets. I blamed the company for not providing better leads. I blamed the economy for making people tight with money. I blamed luck for not being on my side. But the harsh truth was that I was constantly negotiating with my own laziness, my own reluctance, and I was losing badly every time. Do you notice this unbreakable rule in life? The more you give in to your fleeting feelings, the less control you have over your life, handing the reins to whims and moods that change like the weather. Conversely, the more you win those small battles against yourself, the further you break through in the world, gaining momentum and confidence. That's all there is to it, really. We don't fail because we lack opportunities or resources. We fail because we choose comfort over responsibility, ease over effort every single time. Earl Schoaf once told me something that shook me to my core. If you keep negotiating with your limits, making deals with your doubts, you're essentially signing a contract for a small, unremarkable life. That line woke me up like nothing else, snapping me out of my trance. From that day forward, I made a non-negotiable rule for myself. If I say it, I do it, no matter what. If I set a goal, I move toward it relentlessly, even if the path is rocky. If I'm tired, I still do it, just slower, adjusting but not stopping. No more negotiations, no more excuses, no more putting things off until a mythical tomorrow. Imagine for a moment that you're a general leading an army into battle. You command them to advance, to push forward despite the odds. But if your army, your will, your actions keeps asking, "Are you sure, General? Maybe we should rest first, have a snack, regroup," then you'll never win a single battle, let alone the war. You must become the kind of general that even your own self respects and obeys without question, commanding with authority. The strange thing is, you don't need to beat others in competition to succeed. You just need to stop surrendering to yourself, to those inner saboteurs. Every time you ignore that lazy voice, every time you push through, you build a piece of self-respect, a foundation of inner strength. Day after day, those pieces accumulate, forming a person you can be truly proud of, someone who looks in the mirror and sees reliability and resolve. When was the last time you spoiled yourself in that way, trading your future for a moment of comfort, letting short-term pleasure override long-term gain? Remember this: procrastination is like silent bankruptcy, draining your resources without you noticing until it's too late. Excuses are hidden thieves, stealing your time and potential under the guise of reason. Negotiating with your feelings is the road backward, leading you away from progress. Stop it right now. Decide again with conviction. From today onward, you command your emotions. They obey you, not the other way around. A strong, purposeful life begins the moment you stop listening to your weak excuses, tuning them out like static on a radio. When you stop lying to yourself like that, when you cut off the negotiations, you start rebuilding the most valuable asset you have, not money or possessions, but self-respect, the bedrock of true confidence. That brings us seamlessly to principle 3. Build self-respect by keeping small promises to yourself, those little commitments that seem insignificant but compound into something massive. Everyone wants to be confident, to walk into a room with their head held high. Everyone wants to be strong, resilient in the face of adversity. Everyone wants to be successful, achieving goals that matter. But there's a truth few people dare to face head on. You cannot be genuinely confident if deep down in the quiet recesses of your mind, you don't trust yourself. And what makes you lose that trust isn't the big spectacular failures that grab headlines. It's the small promises you break to yourself every day, the ones no one else sees but you feel deeply. Tomorrow I'll wake up early and start the day right, you say, but you hit snooze and sleep in. Today I'll go to the gym and take care of my health, but you skip it for the couch. Tonight I'll study for an hour to learn that new skill, but you end up scrolling TikTok for 3 hours, lost in endless distractions. No one knows about these lapses, no one judges you outwardly. But you know, and you judge yourself harshly in the silence, chipping away at your self-worth. I was the same way for years, breaking my own word without realizing the damage. When I worked at Sears, I'd set a goal to find 10 new clients each week, fired up and ready. The first week, I hit it feeling great. The second week, I managed 7, telling myself it was close enough. By the third week, I stopped counting altogether, rationalizing that no one was checking on me anyway. But in fact, there was one person checking myself, and every broken promise sent a message that I wasn't trustworthy, that I couldn't count on me. That destroys self-respect faster than any external failure ever could, leaving you hollow inside. After meeting Earl Schoaf, he asked me a question that struck like lightning in a storm. Jim, if you don't believe in you, if you can't rely on your own word, how can life believe in you or open doors for you? That question ignited a fire within me. From that day, I started over, not with grand sweeping promises that were easy to break, but with real achievable ones. If I said I'd read 10 pages a day, I did it, no matter how late it got. If I said I'd meet one new client, I made it happen, pushing through resistance. If I said I'd get up at 6 a.m., I was out of bed at 6 a.m., come rain or shine. No big declarations to the world, no bragging on social media, just quiet, consistent action. I learned that self-respect doesn't come from eloquent words or motivational quotes. It comes from repeated actions that prove your integrity to yourself. You can't feel strong when you abandon yourself every day, leaving your commitments in the dust. You can't believe in a bright future when you break promises to the present moment. You can't lead others effectively if you can't even lead yourself with discipline. Here's a practical principle for you to apply immediately. Start with the smallest but truest promise you can make and keep. Organize your workspace for 5 minutes. Drink enough water throughout the day. Write down 3 important tasks and finish them before sundown. Spend 10 minutes learning a new skill, no distractions allowed. Those small things don't look flashy or Instagram worthy, but they rebuild your inner trust brick by brick, layer by layer. Each time you keep a small promise, you hear a voice inside affirming, I can do it. I'm trustworthy. I can rely on myself. That's the essence of self-respect, a quiet power that no one can give you. You have to earn it through consistency. What promise will you keep to yourself today? Just one, not a dozen that overwhelm you, but one you follow through to the end, no matter what. If you want to change your life for the better, start by making yourself proud, proving that you're someone who follows through. Confidence isn't about standing in front of others and speaking loudly with charisma. It's about standing alone in the quiet moments and keeping your own promises, building an unshakable foundation. You'll realize that when you keep those promises, there will be times you feel pain, exhaustion, and the urge to quit. But that's not a signal to stop. It's proof that you're evolving. That leads us to principle 4. Use pain as proof that growth is happening, that you're on the path to something better. Look at your muscles for a perfect analogy. When you train them with weights or resistance, the fibers tear slightly, microscopic damage that hurts in the moment. But those tiny tears are what allow them to rebuild stronger, more capable than before. No pain, no growth. It's a universal law. Your mind operates the same way every time you step into discomfort, like putting the phone down to focus on a task, saying no to a party to grind on your work, forcing yourself to finish a goal despite fatigue, or facing ridicule from naysayers. You're tearing old limits, breaking down barriers to build a better, more resilient version of yourself. Pain is the upgrade process, the necessary friction that polishes the diamond. I remember the first time I was asked to speak on stage, my head spinning with anxiety, hands sweaty and shaking, voice trembling as I grasped for words. I thought to myself, maybe I can't do this, maybe it's not for me. But my mentor, Earl Shove, pulled me aside and said, Jim, if it were easy, everyone would do it, and if everyone did it, no one would become great. Greatness is reserved for those who embrace the difficulty. In that instant, I realized a profound truth. If something makes you anxious or uncomfortable, that might be exactly what you need to do, the very thing that will propel you forward. That pain isn't a barrier meant to stop you, it's a signal of a leap, a breakthrough in disguise. No one grows up at a party surrounded by superficial fun. No one breaks through while lounging on a sofa mindlessly consuming content. No one becomes extraordinary under the roof of comfort where everything is handed to you. All meaningful change must pass through the storm of doubt that whispers you're not good enough, the storm of procrastination that tempts you to delay, the storm of fatigue that begs you to rest, the storm of loneliness when the path feels solitary. But after every storm, if you endure, a more resilient person emerges, forged in the fire of adversity. There are days when you'll feel beaten down, overwhelmed by the weight of it. All those days aren't failures. They're actually your strongest days because you don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. Because you're tired to the bone, but you keep moving forward one step at a time. Because you doubt yourself deeply, but you still choose hope over despair. That's when willpower triumphs over emotion, when you forge true grit that can't be taught in books. What is causing you pain right now, but you know in your heart it's helping you grow, shaping you into something better? Is it learning a hard new skill that frustrates you at every turn? Building a new habit that requires daily discipline? Working out to get healthy, pushing your body despite the soreness? Chasing a dream that no one else believes in, facing skepticism from all sides? Don't run from it, embrace it, use it as fuel. Let the pain become a milestone, a marker proving you're moving forward, not stagnating. Pain doesn't come to stop you in your tracks, it comes to tell you that you're on the right track, heading toward transformation. And when you accept that pain is an integral part of the journey, not an enemy but an ally, you'll be ready to step into something even more important. Training yourself to do hard things every day until they feel normal, until resistance fades. Principle 5, do hard things daily until they feel normal, integrating challenge into your routine like breathing. One of the biggest mistakes people make in life is thinking that sticking only to what's comfortable, what's familiar and easy can somehow lead to a great extraordinary existence. No, that's a delusion. Easy things only create an average life, one that's forgettable and unfulfilled. Only hard things, the ones that test you, create greatness, carving out a legacy. And here's a key principle of success that I've lived by. What's hard today will become normal tomorrow if you dare to repeat it every day, building tolerance and strength. Day 1, you wake up at 5 a.m. and it's brutally hard, your body protesting every second. Day 1, you exercise and it's exhausting, leaving you gasping for air. Day 1, you focus for 2 hours without checking your phone and it's tense, your mind wandering constantly. Day 1, you learn a new skill and it's confusing, overwhelming with information. But the crucial part is that every day you repeat it, that difficulty loses its grip, its power diminishing with consistency. When you keep going long enough, life doesn't magically get easier, you get stronger, adapting and thriving. That's the turning point where hard becomes habit, effort becomes instinct, pressure becomes strength. I remember the early days of my speaking journey, when I was a guy terrified of crowds, my hands shaking as I clutched a note sheet, each sentence feeling like a battle against my nerves. But I decided I'd do this every day until it became part of me, ingrained in my being. Day 1, I spoke for just 1 minute, stumbling but finishing. Day 2, 3 minutes gaining a bit of flow. Then 5, 10, 20, building gradually. There was no magic wand, no overnight success, only repeating the hard thing until it felt natural, until the fear subsided. Have you noticed how long-time gym goers no longer see workouts as torture, but as a normal part of their day? How successful people don't view discipline as a burden, but as a tool. How confident speakers don't shake anymore, not because the task got easier on its own, but because they changed, their muscles adapted, their habits solidified, their identity shifted, and their life transformed. Here's an interesting truth that flips the script. The more you avoid the hard thing, the scarier it becomes, looming larger in your mind. The more you face it head on, the more normal it becomes, demystified by experience. You fear what you never dare to try, building it up into a monster. But once you try, you realize, it's not as scary as I thought. I can handle this. Your mind can only guess and speculate, but your actions are what define who you are, shaping reality. So, how do you start this process? Choose one hard but small thing to tackle. Wake up 20 minutes earlier to meditate or plan. Run 2 kilometers, even if it's a jog-walk mix. Read 10 pages of a book daily, absorbing knowledge. Work with focus for 45 minutes straight. Finish one task you've often delayed, crossing it off. Do it every day, even when you're tired, even without motivation blazing. Don't demand immediate results or perfection. You're planting a tree, and the roots grow first in silence, unseen. But one day, a whole forest will appear, lush and abundant. Is there something you know you need to do, but you feared it for too long, letting it paralyze you? Write it down now, commit to paper. Start today, no more delays. Repeat it a little every day, chipping away. One day, what once terrified you will become your greatest pride, a testament to your growth. You don't need to do the hardest thing in the world, you just need to do a hard thing every day, building that muscle. And once you're used to doing hard things daily, the next skill you must master is acting even when you're not ready, because waiting for perfect feelings is a recipe for eternal delay. Principle 6, act before you feel ready, leaping into action despite the uncertainty. Let's be honest with each other here. How many times have you known you needed to act on something important, but told yourself, wait for a better time when things align? Wait until I'm motivated and energized. Wait until I have more money, more time, more opportunity. And then what happens? You're still standing in the same spot, opportunities slipping away like water, time marching on without pause. The truth is, you will never feel completely ready. No amount of preparation can erase every trace of fear. No plan can eliminate all risks. No burst of inspiration lasts long enough to carry you through to success. The human brain is wired to protect you, to avoid danger, failure, embarrassment, the unknown at all costs. But the problem is that all great things, all meaningful achievements, lie precisely in that unknown territory, beyond the safety net. If you only act when you feel fully ready, you'll spend your whole life trapped in the comfort zone, never breaking through to the other side. I remember the first time I stood on a stage to inspire others, my body shaking with nerves, afraid I'd say the wrong thing, terrified the audience would laugh or dismiss me. If that day I had waited until I wasn't afraid, until I felt perfectly prepared, then today you wouldn't know who I am or the impact I've made. It was precisely because I acted before I was ready that I discovered my true self, my capabilities unfolding in real time. Earl Schoaf told me, Jim, people don't grow up first and then dare to act, they dare to act, and then they grow up in the process. Remember that greatness doesn't stem from fleeting emotions, it comes from deliberate decisions, from choosing action over hesitation. Feelings change by the minute, unpredictable as the wind, but when you decide to act, you create momentum that builds. You start and focus appears. You move forward and confidence builds. You persist and results follow. Motivation isn't something you passively wait for like a bus, it's something you create actively in the process of working, sparking from effort. You don't need to know the next 10 steps in detail, just take the first one and the path will reveal itself. You don't need to say, I will do this perfectly from the start. Say, I will start doing this today, imperfections and all. You'll be amazed by the power of just 5 seconds of courage, that brief window where you override doubt and leap. One small action, one timely decision can change everything. Ask yourself honestly, how many opportunities in your life have vanished simply because you waited until you felt ready? A job you didn't apply for, a project you didn't launch, a dream you didn't pursue. You don't fail because you lack ability, you fail because you don't start, paralyzed by what ifs. Within the next 24 hours, what are you willing to do that you've postponed for far too long? Send that email asking for an opportunity. Build your first YouTube channel and upload a video. Hit the gym and sweat it out. Learn a new language starting with basics. Start that business idea with a simple plan. Choose one thing and begin right after this video ends. Don't wait. Act and then you'll be ready, growing into the role. But remember, the moment you act, that voice in your head will resurface, trying to pull you back with justifications. So, Principle 7, catch your excuses the moment they start to speak, nipping them in the bud. There's a con artist residing in your head, one that doesn't shout but whispers sweetly, always trying to make you feel safe by doing less, by settling. It hands you reasonable sounding reasons to delay. You're tired today, take a break, it's okay. You can deal with it tomorrow when you're better rested. Just this once won't matter. Sound familiar? That's not the truth, that's the trickery of the comfort zone luring you in. Every time you accept it, you get a little weaker. Every time you reject it, you level up in strength. Back then, I lost this battle repeatedly. I promised to read every night, but at nightfall, I'd negotiate just 1 minute of TV to unwind. 10 minutes became an hour, then 3, and I'd go to bed disappointed, the cycle repeating. I felt stuck, but I was deceived from the first whisper. The law is clear. The longer excuses talk, the more they win, the more you reply, the more you lose. To win, cut them off at the first word. Don't let them finish. Excuses don't argue loudly, they provoke subtly, whisper like a friend, tell you to slow down instead of stop. That's the trap. No one loses a goal from one delay, but from 1,000 tiny, harmless seeming ones. Earl Schoaf said, when you make excuses, you're negotiating for an average life. You can't live big with small excuses.
The issue isn't inability, it's believing those sweet lies. The secret, act before the excuse finishes. Brain says tomorrow, do it now. Too tired, do it slower. Not ready, do it until ready. Don't negotiate, you're the boss, feelings are soldiers. Practice tomorrow when tempted to scroll instead of work, linger in bed, skip tasks, ask, is this a reason or laziness in disguise? You'll see 80% are masked for ease. Which excuse will you catch today? The one for not working out, not starting the project, delaying your dream? Smash it immediately. You don't lose from lack of strength, but from believing weak words. When you stop excusing, you'll face pressure, creating winners. Principle 8. Create pressure on yourself before life does it for you, proactively. People change only when pain is great, growing when things collapse, acting when no choice left. Lose a job, then save, get sick, then health focus left by partner, then self-improved deadline looms, then scramble. Sound familiar? Don't wait for life's pain, create pressure yourself. At Sears, I said next month harder until a year passed unchanged. No pressure means laziness, drop standards, buried dreams. Not lack of ability, but no strong reason. Earl said, when life gets too easy, you're living too small, we're born to rise, pressure creates that. Ordinary metal under pressure becomes sword, coal becomes diamond, pressure reveals value. Winners create it, set deadlines, high goals, accountability. Fight as if today is it. Do you want life to push or lead yourself? Choose determines you. Challenge, set deadline for goal, public commitment, cut escapes, you'll accomplish more. Where need pressure, work, health, learning, finance, buried dream. Don't wait for shock, wait with discipline. Pressure helps stand taller. Once created, master focus, not mood. Principle 9, train focus to obey you, not mood. World has smart people, but few focus long. They start passionate, quit distracted ideas great, but can't sit 3 minutes. Ordinary stay ordinary, focus obeys feelings, not goals. Brains avoid boredom, chase pleasure, notifications pull. Focus is skill, train it. Early speeches, 10 minutes I break for water, check mail, admire pen. Mind escapes effort, teach it to do what's needed. Difference, average focus when inspired, extraordinary when not, that's discipline. Laser cuts when converged energy, same, if scattered, no results. Race depth, not task. Train one task, no multitasking. 50-10 rule, 50 minutes deep, 10 break. Turn off notifications, control phone or future, right outcome before start. Observe feelings, don't obey. How many opportunities lost from lost focus? Class, project, relationship. Focus is currency, control attention, win. Don't wait, mood, focus, mood follows. When trained, doing hard, acting unready, you change identity. Principle 10, redesign identity through repeated action. You get what matches who you believe you are. Many try change, return old habits, not lack willpower, but unchanged identity. Force early, wake few days, but if not morning person, back to bed. Gym weak, but not athletic, quit. Focus today, but procrastinator, keep procrastinating. Short actions can't beat beliefs. Change life, change self-view. New identity from daily evidence. Keep promise, vote disciplined, act ready. Vote courageous, focus unwilling, vote steadfast. Built one vote time. No day transform, win vote time. I was poor, shy, daily wrote speech, practiced, improved. Became speaker from actions, not luck. Smokers say I'm smoker, body follows procrastinators, that's me. Life mirrors. Language shapes life. Change trying, wake early to I'm person, wakes early. Repeat to become. Formula, define who become, discipline, focused. Ask morning what action proves. Repeat daily, no permission feelings. Reconstruct identity, upgrade life, what greater version does daily. One action, start today. Future knows change chosen, each action vote for become. As change old habits pull, say tomorrow, kill it. Principle 11, don't let later steal future. Dangerous word over failure, poverty tomorrow. Not never quit, but later. Tomorrow rarely comes as thought. Met man change, not today. Year later, same. Still complaining, short time, unfinished dreams. Going due, not yet. Delays, sign, procrastination, contract. Year regret, future stolen. Tomorrow not planned, sweet lie. Invite delay, believe again. Trap no wrong feel, but lose time. Waited tomorrow, save, learn lesson, postpone everything. Time not. How today, live, answer 5 years, not tomorrow, today. Painful, not lack ability, opportunity lack decisiveness today. If want matters, why not now? If dream but actions not prove, not dream, self-comfort. 3-minute exercise after video. Choose delayed thing, take small step immediately. Send message, call, open document, read page. Don't perfection, start small today, big change. What must do, waited long, name, start. If not now, repeat today 5 years. If not you, who? Wednesday today, stop compromising, regain valuable self-mastery. Principle 12, reward power over self. Most think discipline rewards success, money, fame, byproducts, not real. Ultimate power, master self. Most live slaves, emotions, temptation, procrastination, fear. Know should do, don't know good, choose weak. Ask why stuck, I was emotions decide, fear control, comfort steal. Understood, not master self, life masters. Changed order self. Up early want sleep, study don't want book, meet nervous, no time wasters. Stop ask feelings permission, ask closer future want. Yes, do, no, eliminate. Day win 1%, new stronger person. Know by feeling earn. Turning say do change, change become new actions prove. Become dangerous best way, no rule fleeting emotions, leader life. Breakthrough not success achieve, look mirror, trust self. No excuses, no need motivation, work no excitement, keep wrong. Day free procrastination, doubt weaker self. Hardest defeat controls self. One enslaved emotions or self-mastery. Choice now, next decision. Success not conquer world, conquer weakness within. Walk journey today, explore two principles, master self. Out comfort, stop negotiate procrastination, keep small promises, build respect, use pain-proof growth, do hard daily normal, act ready, catch excuses, speak, create pressure, life does, train, focus, obey goals, redesign identity, action, not let later steal future, greatest reward, power self. If resonated, remember no change, whole life day, just win self today. Deserve stronger you, starts now, next decision. Take action like spread mindset, subscribe next lesson, share need, comment which principle apply today. Want here, master one day, master life, start today, see next, keep best version.